Okay, so I want to highlight certain things because for those of you still holding on to a BlackBerry or you have a like Calyx OS or other type of Android open source operating system that doesn't use Google services on it, uh, you have oh my goodness, it's annoying. You still have options, and for some people, that's why they hold on to the BlackBerry. But because BlackBerry reached the end of life earlier this year, a lot of the services on BlackBerry don't work anymore. For some people, it's like, how do I unlock my phone when BlackBerry ID doesn't work anymore? That there is a workaround, and I wish I could tell you how I fixed mine, but it was a lot of trial and error. I did use the Crackberry forums, and I think XDA developers helped a little bit in figuring this out. I don't remember. There was one more forum in which I found, I think it was Reddit, where I found more information as to fix it. So for those of you that are interested, whether you're watching this stream or when it's reclipped later on, by all means, comment section down below. Let me know. And if by the time I clip this out, I find the resources, they will be in the video description down below. But until then, I want to highlight BlackBerry Q10. It took me a while to actually showcase all these because I had to repair the screen on it. So I replaced the screen myself. Woohoo! I can still fix these. BlackBerry Classic. Never got a chance to really use this thing. I really like it. I miss it. BlackBerry Z30 or Z30, depending on what side of the Canadian border you're on. AMOLED display, big battery. Love this guy. My precious. The whole shutting down of the system actually worked in my favor. The Porsche P9983, is it? Porsche design, carbon fiber backing. I think it's titanium, and this thing's a beauty. I wish I could use it on the Verizon network. I can't, but some say there's a workaround. We'll see. And my favorite of all, the Z10. Horrible battery life. Love the color. I can't believe this used to be big back in the day. This thing is so tiny, so tiny. Okay, so why did I bring these devices out that honestly you can't even see? But the reason I bring them out is because even though you cannot actually use the BlackBerry services anymore, it means you can still phone, call, and text. This is still an Android 4.3 device. There are tool sets that you can use, and I recommend for those of you that still have the links for Cobalt's Play Store, you probably won't be able to get that thing to work anymore. But if you can get the mobile network app, an APK that he released, and I'll make that one available because I still have that too. I have all those APKs, by the way. And so for those of you interested, drop me a comment down below, and I'll think about posting it somewhere, maybe on Mega. When you get the mobile network APK, it isn't so much about being able to control the mobile network on the Android side of the settings. Here's the thing, that you're not able to use Bluetooth on Android. Doesn't matter how many times you change the settings on the settings menu for your BlackBerry device. If you cannot get to the actual settings menu within Android, you cannot activate Bluetooth and Wi-Fi. So let me pull this one up. It's called, I guess I have someone at Outpost. So this is called mobile network on the APK, but there's a more Android settings feature to it. Okay. And once that happens, and I'm going to try to bring this up, and I know it's a bit bright, so I'll try to show this off. So now, without the glare, you'll be able to have more control, including Bluetooth. So Bluetooth is off, you could turn it on. This is how you're able to get, say, certain applications that don't connect to your Bluetooth device to work. Like music, streaming services, and all that. And how do you get Android apps to even work on this when you don't even know which Android app works? Here's the thing. Some Android apps require Marshmallow 6.0 Android version and above to work. Other Android versions, I think, are at 7 or 8. So I think 8 was, which one's Oreo? Was Oreo Android 8? I think it is. Android Oreo was 8.0. So that one and above. So as we continuously, advance the technology, eventually those other apps will stop working. So some Android apps don't even work anymore. The place that I decided to go to try things out, and it was able to work for me, was APK Pure. APK Pure, and I'm not trying to endorse them per se, but this is the place where I've been able to rely upon for being able to filter out applications that work based on operating systems. Because this is Android 4.3. Was that still Lollipop? Because KitKat was 4.4. No, Lollipop was 5.0. I hated that one. I forget what 4.3 was, but 4.4 and above, sorry, none of those apps will work on this. But you can get applications through APK Gold. APK Pure or APK Gold? It might be all of it. That's why I was able to get it, because you're able to install app stores like Aptoid, F-Droid, and I couldn't get Aurora to work, but let me pull up what I do have going on here. The Amazon App Store is the main one that I have, and I'll show you here. So I know there's a lot of glare. So I have the F-Droid, but the version from Aurora. Also have F-Droid and the Amazon App Store. And the Amazon App Store gives you Amazon services. But here's the trippy thing. I guess it depends on the device, whether it's like a square ratio display or a full screen display. You will not get all the same apps available. Like for example, uh, on my Z10, I'm able to get Dropbox on Amazon and Spotify, but I can't get it on the other one. So I have to go around and just go to like download the APK somewhere for the one that will work on these devices. And I'll tell you really quickly which software versions of BlackBerry 10 I'm using on these, because generally speaking, for at least the Q10, I'm running 10.3.3.2137. And I think that goes the same for my Z30. 21.37, and the same for my classic. Where it changes are for the Porsche design and for the Z10. For the Porsche design, I'm using an older one. No, uh, a newer one, 10.3.3.3216. That was the one that I was able to use. If you're going to find an autoloader, use that one to be able to go around the whole BlackBerry ID issue, because this one had the factory reset protection. So I wasn't able to go through it. But with this software version, I was finally able to break in and not have to worry about that anymore, because how am I able to access it if the servers are down? That's how I was able to circumvent it with 0.3216 version. When it comes to the Z10, this is the only one of all of them that I can still use the Google Play Store. So I do have, and I'm going to show you this one. There's going to be some glare again, but I have the Google Play Store. Let me tilt it a little more. So the Google Play Store, and I have F-Droid. I can't update F-Droid anymore because it won't work. Some apps would install and they won't work. I do have Instagram Lite running on some of these, or even the older Instagram app that will work for older models, and they work. So for me, with the Google Play Store, at least this one has Google Play services. Technically, you can still try to work around the other ones, but it's really hit or miss. And I found that anything using a different software version than the one I'm running here, which is 10.3.3.2129, I have no success with the Play Store. It just crashes. But for that one, it works. Go figure. Don't know why, but that's just the way it is. Excuse me. So let me see. What else am I having here? So the things that I have Skype, I have WhatsApp, I have Line Lite, I have Instagram Lite running on the Z10, which will apply the same for the Classic, the Q10, and the Porsche design. The Z10 is able to manage them better because it has the stronger processor. They have the same memory, but the stronger processor does make a difference in loading all these. And I still use Black. It's a Twitter thingy that I have for the longest time, and that one still works for the most part. When it comes to media, Spotify, TuneIn Radio. What else do I have? This big VLC player. It works here. And I have TuneIn Radio Pro. That one's actually from the Amazon App Store because I bought it. And believe it or not, I still have Apollo. Apollo's from the back in the WebOS days. That's what I use for Pandora. But I'm not connected to the Wi-Fi, so I can't play it here. So I have those apps running on these things, and I also have K9 for email. So I'm able to get it to work here on the BlackBerry Classic. So you can get mileage out of this, and you don't have to use the light apps. I have Waze running on this for GPS. I have Here We Go. Your mileage will vary on that one, honestly. I have Google Duo and Telegram here. The official Twitter app, just got to find the right one that works for you. Again, WhatsApp. I have all these running on these devices. So you can see the logos there kind of. So what I'm saying, you can still get life out of your BlackBerry if you so choose to. It is a pain, but the fastest way that I was able to do it is just go to the browser and use APK Pure. I think it's APK Gold Pure, stuff like that. Or not just that. There's APK Mirror, up to down. They You can download the app stores. They are just not going to work. For some reason, it'll never connect. I think the server side were turned off for those versions of the apps, so it will never connect to their Wi-Fi, to their server, even though your Wi-Fi is on. Nothing is wrong with your phone. Everything is wrong with the server side. So you will get that happening with certain apps that you use. But what I do is I put it on an SD card. I just download them all through the browser on my computer, offload them to an SD card. I put them into this device, and then one by one, just install them. It's the easiest thing. It still takes some time, but it's considerably faster than trying to download through a browser on your phone. So for browsers on this one, I actually have a few. I use the BlackBerry browser still for the most part work. I have the Android browser. I don't think I have this one to show you. Hold on. I think I have this one. Firefox. So I have Firefox on this one. I have the Work Wide app also. Evolution browser. These are going to be bar files now because the App Store is closed. And these are not all my Blackberries. I have the BlackBerry Key One, which is Android, so still works. And unfortunately, the BlackBerry Playbook, God rest its soul, it bricked itself. It just like gave up the ghost and say, "I'm done. I'm not turning on anymore." So it just stays forever on the boot screen for days until the battery dies out. If at least it feels like days. And that's done with that. But as for these, they still have life within them. And with everything except the Porsche design, I can't use I can't use it on Verizon. If the Z10 had better battery life, I would be using this one more. Look, the camera sucks on all of them, all right? But at least you're able to use it. The classic was the one I was never able to use. This device is absolutely gorgeous. I love the heft. The keyboard is just buttery. Oh, I missed that. But for on screen, if you're still able to get a Z30, that's a tough one to find. Battery life after all these years, battery's still holding strong. So I think that's really cool. But with respects to my little tips and tricks there on being able to just ignore the BlackBerry ID part, use software, an autoloader. You can still get them through crackberry.com and even Reddit if you're able to scour through them, ending in 3216. No, that's this one. It's on 3216. That's how you're able to bypass the lock if you have the factory reset protection, like the anti-theft protection. That's the one that's gonna give you the hardest time. That's the one to be able to break through. So yeah, it worked out for me. Something to do with also the having the device do the accessibility voice prompts for the visually impaired. That somehow works. It didn't work for me, but it I just skipped on through on it. I got through. So go figure. Your mileage will vary. But as for me, if you're able to downgrade, it's really hard to find the older autoloaders. I wasn't able to find them, but are you able to find the 2129 release? You might get a much better Android experience above all. The downside, because the initial BlackBerry 10 uh processor, it does take a lot longer to load. But like I said, Spotify. Let me see what else. For those are for the socials. So once again, Line Light or just Line in general, Skype, Twitter, WhatsApp, Google Duo, Telegram, Twitter, and I still have Black. So that's a bar file. You can't unless you have the bar file. You can't install it because of the Play Store. Uh, I do have the Play Store installed here, but I don't have it activated. Instagram Lite. For media, I use Spotify, VLC, Blaze TV, TuneIn Radio, Apollo. Um, let's see. For I have Office Mobile, so that one works for my Office documents. And I don't. Oh, this one's on Wi-Fi, so maybe I can show it off. For browser, for an Android browser, Firefox being one of them, and I'm booting up Microsoft. Oh wait, it turned on. Uh, okay. By the way, in the recut, I'll just cut for time here. But I'm happily loading OneDrive. Oh, you can see the whole thing is bright. Yeah, it's too bright. But I'm loading OneDrive uh, on my BlackBerry here. So like I said, you can still get life out of it. Firefox for the browser, and for the mapping stuff, I even have WordPress in here. Amazon Shopping, because there's some apps that still work. Google Translate, that one works on this too. Several games, some that are Android based, other ones that I had from that were bar files. I can't really distinguish one from the other right now. Bible app that works. And yeah, I haven't tried anything else 'cause I don't need it, but K9 for your email, because why not? So there are ways to still get some mileage out of your BlackBerry. So I recommend that if you can, you do so.